been standout for his team. And Molfik has come into the roster recently, or taken more of a front seat in the roster as well in the coming weeks.
He's integrated himself very well into this roster overall, and I think that comes with previous synergy with Obling as well as, but Shoes Money Crew ready to jump out to point, and it is just this mirror comps. The only difference we are going to see is JK Lol is on the Winstons, whereas Milky Man, he's on that Reinhardt. They're going to have a distinct advantage here unless JK Lol can take serious advantage of this high ground. It looks like Team Gigantti are taking a bit of a safer route to point for the time being, and they're going to make those bubble rotations go through. Davin wants to get up to a little bit more charge before they take this fight onto the point.
And Miles is happy to sit up here with this Zarya and just hit those mortars. Might not get the charge he necessarily needs, but he's able to just get that damage on. JK Lol's going to front line. We'll put that bubble on, like we said, get that charge now that the aggression comes out from Team Gigantti. He's looking to attack Lilbo, who went for that displacement off the high ground. Not able to get a capture yet, so perfect timing with the offensive from Team Gigantti to not let that cap go through. And now they're going to contest on the ground floor, force everyone to come down and look for these rotations again.
It's really well played from Team Gigantti so far. Zappa's doing an excellent job to assist Lilbo and taking people off the high ground, but Molfik opens this one up. Lilbo goes down, but Davin, as you can see, super high charge.
Easily going to cut through Molf there and get the kill after the D-Mech. That's Gigantti's point to take it. They can just keep this tempo going, but Maus looking to level it out. He too got a D-Mech and got a D.Va kill to notch into his massive energy cannon. The Transcendence is coming out nicely from Zappe. Slur's going to match him, obviously, but Obling, he's dropping the rally early. Visibility obviously has to match that as well. First Graviton Surge comes out, pulls Gigantti together. There's no Transcendence that has just been used, but they're still going to stay up apart from Lilbo going down, who is so close to that sound barrier. Gustav is now going to have that in the pocket, ready to use, but Shoes Money Crew are going to do it without.
Wow, Shoes Money Crew take the first flip here. Play extremely well versus Team Gigantti. Nice and slow. JK Lol make the switch as well as with a Reinhardt for just a better composition choice here all in general. But JK Lol actually plays down one insane Winston shield in the middle of that Graviton. It stopped any counter aggression coming out from that Graviton whilst they were all pinned in it. And because there was no Transcendence, it was used earlier, it was just clean pickups. Team Gigantti now have a sound barrier to work with. They might not have to use it.
They're going to use that Graviton instead. There's the sound barrier for Shoes Money Crew. Lilbo is going to commit that sound barrier as well, just to level out the HP bars. Milky Man's got that shatter in his pocket, gonna plant it straight down. No one to be found out there. Nice shielding coming out from Obling and JK Lol. There's the charge in from Milky Man. Finds Maus at the last second from Davin to pick up the kill with his high energy, which I'm sure he's on right now. Moving around the point, they've all got their bodies there. They're gonna be able to start getting the recapture. Gustav tries to contest even further. Another charge coming out from Milky Man allows Lilbo to get the kill on JK Lol. Shoes Money Crew, they're being pulled apart. They can try and get as much ult charge or try and get as much charge as they like out of this point. It's going over to Gigantti.
It seemed very calm and collected up until the moment where Gustav just jumps out. Almost suicides there a little bit. I'm not sure about that one at all because they had an opportunity to make a good disengage and get ready for the next fight after they lost JK Lol early. After they lost Maus early, sorry. Now Team Gigantti, they've managed to get themselves a nice bit of an ult bank going from those late staggers there towards the end. So as long as they play this one correctly, they trade up properly in this big messy fight that's coming up, they should be fine for the next 40%.
Well, whether they can trade up is going to be a massive indicator. Molf comes in with the E on Davin to take that Graviton Surge away from Gigantti. Might be winning this fight for them because they have to trade up. It's not looking like they've done very well so far as Maus is going to move forward with that high energy. Obling has to fall back, get some more HP. Rally popped as well, answered with Basility's rally. Team Gigantti still have control of this point, and Shoes Money Crew have to aggress onto them. Low HP bars mean JK Lol's going to go down, so is Facility. Self-destruct forced out to get a quick remake in this fight. Davin will then take out Obling with a right click, looking to find a way through Maus now that he has no personal shield. The sound barrier will be Davin's shield. He won't have to use that cooldown just yet, but it looks like Shoes Money Crew have the positional advantage on the point, especially when they demax Zappis and force Gigantti into this back room. And without reinforcements, they should be able to get this flip, assuming they keep the momentum going.
Shoes Money Crew doing such an amazing job right now, especially ult economy in mind. Obviously, at the moment, Team Gigantti still retain pressure on point, but this is a long, grindy fight, and at some point, Shoes Money Crew will find the flip here. Milky Man and both Zappe just trying to stall it out for the time being, but it's not quite up to that 80% area where it does get dangerous into those positions where it could be one fight territory. So this gives extra time for Shoes Money Crew to build up their ultimates, and they already have pretty much 4 online already. Team Gigantti not looking at a great spot right now.
Yeah, it was Team Gigantti trying to juice out as much percentage from that as they could. Obviously, the Graviton Surge was the win condition there for Shoes Money Crew as they just able to aggress onto Team Gigantti, who were already faltering. Now they have to come onto this one, stop that final fight territory, because they're going to have to ultimately end up hitting those 90% from this next engagement, potentially 99 in favor of Shoes. So even if you win this fight, you have to have more gas in the tank to be able to keep it up. And Zappers takes out Obling. They've committed the grab, and that's the only thing so far apart from the rally. So if they can finish it off without committing more ultimates, they should be able to hold on to this one and see if they can win it out. They've got Zappers' bomb, and he's going to be able to just keep murdering Molv, Slur, and Facility picks up Gustav as well in the retreat. They need to take out Miles. They're so close to doing it, but they're not going to commit too aggressively because they know if they lose the next fight, they could lose the round.
So Miles is actually staying up here, which means he retains a lot of that charge in that fight because he didn't die. And Shoes Money Crew come up with a nice set of ultimates, actually, because you have the bomb to throw in early to give you positional advantage, and then you can use that sound barrier to pressure that advantage afterwards. Team Gigantti have got to be careful right now.
Also going to be really hard to do anything if you're shattered on the back line. Zappis finds two. They can just turn on the corner. Team Gigantti have such an advantage in this fight, and with overtime ticking down, I'm not sure Shoes Money Crew can stay in this round. They're attempting to go for the contest, getting someone on the point, and by God, someone's managed to match it, but Wolf can only last so long. The same story with Gustav, 99 to 96% scoreline. Gigantti take away Gardens.
It's not easy though. We didn't see 100 to 0. It's 100 to 96. Shoes Money Crew, a terrific job by them to stay on the point for as long as they did right there. Obviously, Gustav in the end, I think that decision to go back in and not escort his team out properly actually might have been the kicker for them there. But Team Gigantti, we've got to give a little bit praise to Zappis there. It's a really nice bomb followed by a shatter from Milky Man to lock them all in place whilst it goes off. And I think that's the perfect time to use a bomb in that situation. Obviously, you see one coming from Molfig. They want to take positional advantage with that bomb whilst in the air. Zappis says, no way, you have to do it with a bomb of your own. And Team Gigantti win off of that. And I think that's just great understanding of this composition, the free-free. So now we're going to University. This is very much a free-free heavy map here, Tridd. So it's going to be determined by specific rotations in particular.
What rotations might they be?
Well, onto the point, for instance, right now. So both teams are mirroring, and it's the person who takes the fight initially who will win this one, and it looks like it is Shoes Money Crew.
Just on the back line of Team Gigantti, Milky Man's going to take out Obling nicely, and they're forced into this back point. They're not able to get on there until Gigantti are just going to re-emerge, pick off the kills, punish the over-aggression from Shoes Money Crew, and take the first cap.
It looked bad. I think the target focus was just not good enough from Shoes Money Crew there. They had the advantage as they aggressed onto them, so Team Gigantti do a very good job there to re-stabilize on the point, and now they're holding a little bit far forward. They want to take these zones of controls and keep them in contestation for themselves, and Milky Man just staying very safe around this corner for the time being.
Yeah, play around the terrain, not having to use that shield as a resource when you can just use passive cover instead. You have to pull it out, and you can already see that Gustav's getting on the high ground on the wall, trying to contest the Reinhardts, and Lilbo has to go up to meet him, and Gustav's out of the way. They're going to go into the interior and try and flush Shoes Money Crew out onto the point. Going to be popped by Facility. Zappy has already found Gustav. He's sitting on that Transcendence now, ready in case anything goes wrong, and it starts to flip back on their heads. What they're trying to keep Shoes Money Crew at bay, who are playing very, very safe. They don't want to be dropping members like Jake Halo getting picked up on the back line, and now they've isolated Miles. He's going to really struggle to maintain any semblance of charge he built up in that last fight. Team Gigantti pushing on the fringe of the 50%.
And speaking of dropping members there, Tridd, there is a massive hole in the middle of the map. So, like you said, both Lucios matching each other on the top side, and the reason for this is because they've got to make sure that neither one of them can be out of position and boot their Reinhardt, or anyone on the team for that matter, into the hole and create a disadvantageous fight. So now, Shoes Money Crew coming back in, and it seems Team Gigantti, they're sticking on this left-hand side.
Milky Man has to stay up. He lands the shatter perfectly onto multiple members of Shoes Money Crew, forces them into the corner, even gets the damage from the charge kill, but it leaves Zappe exposed. He's stunned down, can't get that Transcendence online, so Mouse picks him up, and Davin gonna have another grab eaten by Molfig, but Team Gigantti are still able to flip this one around. Milky Man putting a team on his back with 2 kills on the Slur and on to Mouse. They're going to keep hold of this one. Final fight territory, and Shoes Money Crew have a grab and a bomb to do it.
Good stall there onto Molfig means he's not going to get back to this point until overtime is in effect. So Shoes Money Crew, they're not going to have that Diva self-destruct bomb with the grab in time to launch it as their engage tool. Team Gigantti can take full advantage of this and just go for an early Transcendence.
As you go for that early Transcendence as well, but they've got the Nerf Shatter. They even have a self-destruct of their own. It's just Davin lagging behind with that Graviton Surge. Milky-Man playing very aggressive. Nearly got knocked into that pit, but there's that Graviton Surge. Nice shatter from his side.
So
Stops
good.
the aggression coming out. They send a self-destruct in the back line for Mouse and JK Law to be picked off. There's nothing Shoes Money Crew can do about it. It was a close round 1, but round 2, it was the showstopper. Team Gigantti are going to take Oasis.
It's just such good understanding. And in that grab, we actually saw the shield of the Brigida just fly off into the screen. And that's kind of exactly what happened for Shoes Money Crew. The defense just was crippled and thrown off to the wayside. There's nothing left they could do in that situation. Team Gigantti play it nigh on perfectly. Lilbo never ever leaving that pressure alone on the high ground. And it just meant that a lot of times JKLL was suffering because he had to worry about his positioning a lot, whereas Milky Man was supported all the way.
Fantastic open from Team Gigantti. They take the lead in the series, and we're going to be moving on to our second map, which of course will be King's Row. But before we do that, we have to go to a break. Hey, welcome back to Overwatch Contenders Europe. We're about to jump into King's Row. It is, of course, Team Gigantti against Shoes Money Crew, and they're leading the series after a slow start, but a dominant and conclusive end to Oasis.
Now, I'd come into this map and I'd say that Team Gigantti have had difficulty on this before, but it would seem that a lot of their issues have started to be ironed out a little bit. Sure, there's some wrinkles here and there, but it does look like a clean shirt to me, that's for sure. So Kings Row, one of these maps where Reinhardt and Zarya has just always been a staple, right? This is a nice GOATS map. I think that for Kings Row, for Gigantti in particular, they've got a good chance here, but let's not count Shoes Money Crew out yet. They performed extremely well on Gardens, but that was where that JK Law was able to play Winston, who is one of his signature heroes. He's very good on it.
Might struggle against it if we're playing on Kings Row. And I remember, because we had a lot of fun going back over the VOD of the map, of this map where it was Gigantti versus Morning Stars, and it was that point B hold that really stuck with me. Yeah,
it was a clinger, that's for sure. It was just a bit. There was some plays in there which did not look like Gigantti whatsoever. It looked like someone had impersonated Gigantti and they were just playing at the same time. So I think that was more of a hiccup map because they did bring it back shortly afterwards. So if anything, this is probably a map that they've worked on a lot. So we can say this is probably going to be either a showstopper from Team Gigantti, or Shoes Money Crew might be able to find their way back in again. I think this is a bit of not a middle ground map for Gigantti. This is either going to be a showstopper from that improvement you alluded to, or it's just going to be a cursed map. Yeah. But they're on the defense first, so they can set the tempo here by just shutting down anything that Shoes Money Crew have to offer. A solid point A hold like Hurricane did in the earlier series sets them up nicely to just take the map and go into the half 2-0. Yeah, and I think here, this is another point A where it kind of suits Team Gigantti because there are a lot of rotations that are very particular that you need to be meticulous about, and that's the same of University, and we saw how well that went for Team Gigantti. So hopefully here it's something that we do see from Team Gigantti. It is a very stellar performance from them, and so far Milky Man's going in with the Allied Shield. No longer there, he has to just back off. Yeah, they're just bullying the main tank as expected in those direct head-to-heads. He's the front line and they do meet and their shields overlap and Lucio's go in there and start bullying people. A lot of stuff happens. Yeah, a lot of shenanigans and not much actually comes out of consequence though. No, so now Shoes Money Crew got themselves in a bit of an awkward situation on the side here. Jacob already down to half HP. Looks like there's not an armor pack available already yet. And that shield is just crumbling against the weight of Gigantti. And with that shield down, it just opens it up for Davin to be able to burn through mouths, and all progress has been reset. It's about Gigantti squeezing every last juice out of Shoes Money Crew as they make that retreat. Jacob initiating the rockets as he gets himself out of there pronto. And throws up the peace sign, fades away. Like, I'm out. Team Gigantti though, yeah, like you said, they have to squeeze them for it. As long as they can get an ult advantage by 2 minutes, then it becomes very difficult for Shoes Money Crew to get back in. So I'm pretty much guaranteeing that this is not a good fight for Shoes Money Crew right now. They're going to struggle. Right, that stun on cooldown means Milky Man's free to drop that shatter. The Transcendence is there for Shoes Money Crew. Slur being the one to donate the additional healing, but of course now it's time for Gigantti's rotation of spells. They start with a sound barrier. Lilbo's there with the self-destruct. Zape comes out with a Transcendence to guarantee no one goes down. There's no shield for JK Law. It's on its last life because he had to tank that self-destruct coming out from Zappis, and they're moving on to the point now. So they're starting to make some progress, but there's nothing conclusive. There's Mouse's grab to lock up Gigantti. They have no supportive ultimates. This should be an excellent cleanup from Shoes Money Crew. That was a good fight from Shoes Money Crew. A lot of time Team Gigantti was putting on the pressure there. Yeah. They dropped down supportive ultimates and they wanted to force an engagement. When they didn't find any picks there from the good disengages from Shoes Money Crew, that fight was all but over because there was a self-destruct and a grab combo coming up. In that situation, Zappis just had to eat the grab, but he was out of mech at the time. It's unfortunate for them. They Shoes Money Crew trying to get some extra charge out, catching Team Gigantti on the respawn, but the cohesive unit able to push up towards this choke before the payload really got in motion because there was actually a slow capture coming in from Shoes Money Crew. Yeah, Miles identified that he'd only have to use a grab there. There was no Transcendence. Molfik doesn't have to use the bomb. Now they can use the bomb into Shatter, which could close out this archway. Well, it would if he didn't get shield bashed. That's unfortunate for JK Law. Fantastic play from Facility, shutting down that option altogether. They do still have that self-destruct like you mentioned, and after the Transcendences get traded, they might look to attempt it, but Milky Man's got a shadow of his own. You need to be aware of that one as he goes to drop it on the side. They're nowhere to be blocked out. Nice stun there, will stop the charge damage coming in and isolate Milky Man, but it won't get the kill. There's that Graviton Surge. It's now going over the top of Milky, and he finds free off the back of it. A
counter grab comes out, but it's already too late. This is Gigantti taking a few steps back and allowing Shoes Money Crew to get through the streets.
Zuppei's been taking a few liberties so far, Tridd, honestly. He's been using his Transcenders very early. Shoes Money Crew identifying they can just walk away. Just moonwalk away from that one. And then they come back with the grab and the bomb and they just win the fights that way. It looked a little bit shaky when JK Law missed the charge onto Milky Man to deny the shielding, but I think someone got in there. I believe it probably was Obling with the shield bash to bring that one down and ensure that bomb did go off.
Another shot from JK Law. Hopefully he gets this one off instead of being charged or stunned up by Facility. It's good stuff with the sound barrier as well. Could help Shoes Money Crew get out of the situation. They don't even need it though. Slur's able to pick up 2 kills on a little bone Facility off the back of that mammoth shatter from JK Law.
He just walks past him, mate. He's like, there's a shield there. Well, I'll just go off to the right-hand side. Thank you very much. Now Team Gigantti coming to the next one. They just have that Transcendence coming online. Mouse has one of his own. It's very difficult in this moment for ult tracking for the Mouse to actually know if Zuppei's got Transcendence or not. So he's probably going to hold on to this one for a bit more of an opportunity to use it. But Morphic's setting himself up to either grab. What he doesn't know is Davin just doesn't have one.
50% charge. He's still going to wait a little bit for that one to come up, especially when he gets the damage out though, and he's able to get the bubbles and the high energy. Should be able to see it come out. Zuppei just going to frag on the back line. Slur going down with that Transcendence means that Shoes Money Crew going to have to take a walk back. They still have 3 minutes 30 to play with. They just don't want to get staggered out here on the retreat.
Yeah, this seems to be the situation is the Shoes Money Crew are very good at walking backwards. They're good at pressing the S key. Team Gigantti don't really secure any ultimates out of this one. Shoes Money Crew coming back with 5. They want to retain a few here, so it's going to have to be efficient. Just about having the grab online for Davin. Can Morphic make it number 3 in the match?
Well, it'll be number 3 first of this map in particular. If you can come in here and get the big consumption coming in. Zappis goes off on the high ground to contest him, potentially open up a window for Mouse to get the grab out because Zappis now can't eat in his own. Transcendence comes in, but Demol goes for a grab eat number 3. He's even competing tech 3-6 with his rate of consumption, but now it's looking very shaky for Team Gigantti. Self-destruct over the back finds Zuppei. A shatter coming out from JK Law killed momentum, but there's still ults available for Team Gigantti, and they're going to drop down multiple members with that hammer down from Milky Man himself. The sound barrier from Gustav's good enough to keep everyone in the fight. There's a self-destruct on top of the payload, still finds a way to find Mouse and gets the D-Mech on Morphic for Davin to then clean up with energy, but Shoes Money Crew are still committing to the fight. They're still forcing Team Gigantti back further, and Davin's about to get another grab online.
Now, he can drop this down when he would like to. There's nothing else on the board, so he probably wants to hold on to this one for the next push, which is why you see him backing up right now. Needs to regroup. That's what Team Gigantti have been pretty good at so far, is that when they lose a member, they usually can restabilize pretty quickly. Next fight, it's all about the scrap. He has to hit it. Morphic cannot eat another one.
Got it out nice and plain. Nothing they could do about it. Morphic on the back line. There's the Transcendence. No aggression coming out from Team Gigantti. No follow-up. All it did was buy a little bit more time, but they still got 1 minute 50 to play with. Milky Man can shatter through this payload and potentially catch a couple of members off guard once that barrier goes down. But he's looking for who's harassing him from the side. And surprise, surprise, it's Morphic on the D.Va, looking to get that free damage in. He's going to stand here and burn more of this time back, but they do not want to let a completion come in.
Both supportive ultimates online for Team Gigantti. This is going to be a long fight. A nice shatter. Drops down 2.
He's going to be blocked out for the most part. Zappis gets in a knee against Mouse, and he's not going to let that one come in instead. Here's a Transcendence from Zuppei. Still going to be able to use that aggressively because there's no grab pressure now. Davin getting close to his next Graviton Surge as well, and Zuppei is not going to... Slur is still working towards his own Transcendence, and Graviton's definitely going to get that up fast. He can pull the trigger and count that nice and early. Should be able to get away with him. But Facility just being found out by a very slow and dry bomb by Morphic. It's very surprising he can catch off guard. There's the Graviton Surge. Like we said, Slur still looking to build up. The Graviton damage will kill Mouse, and the charge comes through to guarantee it. Shoes Money Crew have finally been repelled from this payload, and Team Gigantti can breathe because they only have 50 seconds left to go.
Great retaliation from Team Gigantti there. To stay in that one for so long just is a testament to their ability and their prowess with this free composition. Not only do they survive, they retain the Transcendence, the bomb, and the shatter coming in this next one. Shoes Money Crew, they've got Transcendence. That's pretty much all they have until the grab comes online, so they've got to win this fight with a little bit of healing.
Lil Bo looking for something sneaky, but Shoes Money Crew, they pull themselves back in, wind their necks in. Mouse being knocked down by that Earth Shatter, still being protected as Zappin has to use that self-destruct to gather a mech very quickly into this last mass fight. Go for the charge into it. Nice denial there of the Transcendence will keep everyone up. Shadow being dropped down by JK Law. Everyone's still sitting in that Transcendence. Apart from Milky Man, he's gone down low. There's no resources to keep him up, and JK Law can swing through that Obling, and the rest of Shoes Money Crew force Gigantti into the corner. That's just Little Bow and Zappis to be able to contest this one, but they're going to get DMX fast. I don't know if reinforcements come out fast enough. Shoes Money Crew going to complete, but hang on a minute. Here comes Milky Man on the Wrecking Ball, goes for the solo queue classic, but doesn't buy enough time. Shoes Money Crew complete King's Row in overtime.
We've seen Lil Bo pull out some crazy things in the past with Sound Barrier. He gets it online, then he goes down. And it was unfortunate because Visibility was coming out with the rally as well, which they could have sustained with a little bit longer. 700 shielding comes out shortly afterwards. Potentially you see Team Gigantti hold there. So it was good that Shoes Money Crew completed when they did, because it could have got a little bit hairy towards the end of it. Now it will be Team Gigantti on the attack. They just need to finish with a little bit of time in the bank so that they get a second attempt.
Well, if they both finish in overtime, they get a second attempt.
That's true, yeah.
They need to finish over 1 minute, and then they can force a guaranteed draw from this map, so they know they won't go in with a tied series. They will still have that advantage at the half. But they're looking, obviously, for the big W. Map difference, especially with AT nipping on their heels and Hurricane already in that first place position. Like we said, there's a big showdown between those guys coming as the season wraps up, and you need to be getting the map wins as well as the series wins on the board against a team that's currently a little bit further down in the standings.
Shoes Money Crew, yeah, you're not wrong. They are quite low in the standings at the moment. And Team Gigantti being one of the top teams right here, like you said, they need to get that W. Do not want another draw here. Shoes Money Crew, they're on the defense. Ideally, if they can hold them for 2 pushes at least, then their point B and point C becomes a lot easier. Obviously, ideally, the real situation you want to get here is the full hold.
Yeah.
Though versus Team Gigantti, I'm not sure how that works. Zap is currently on the Sombra. He would be the player to flex over to it, so I don't know if they're going to stick on this.
Might be for a quick scout just to see what's going on. I know Gigantti is one of the teams who likes to do that. Hard to say if he's going to keep on it. There he goes back to the spawn room, and no, he's staying on the Sombra for now. So this is a strategy Gigantti want to run with.
This is really odd, though, because playing the Sombra... Wow, okay, they're just done. But
well, they knew there was going to be that missing tank, and they saw Zappis recall because they actually caught him with some damage, forcing an early recall. And so they have the information that, hey, maybe he's in the base changing or he's still on the Sombra, at which case they're missing that beefy front line. We can just run through.
Yeah, I think it's odd playing the Sombra here. We saw Sol do it in the Overwatch League, but it kind of tells you that you don't think your GOATS is as good as the other teams. And you know what? I think Gigantti's GOATS is pretty damn good. I'm not sure I can say at the moment, but playing the Sombra, you need to get value. And currently, Zappis' charge is not going up quick.
Not going up quick, but Mouse is going up and quick indeed. He's able to cut through them. JK Law will still find Milky Man, and Davin gonna have to retreat with the rest of this team, and like we said, just like Gigantti had to on these offensive or defensive pushbacks, Zappis is just being caught out by Mouse again, who's close to that first grab, and Zappis is getting close to the first EMP, so that could turn the tides for Team Gigantti.
A ton of ultimates online for Shoes Money Crew right now. Mouse can pretty much just grab early here. They've got to be conscious of the fact that Zappis is coming up towards very high charge right now towards that EMP, so if they can win this fight quickly, buy themselves a little bit of time, maybe support ultimates from Team Gigantti as well as, or even force out the EMP early, that's going to be massive for them.
Nice shadow as the jump comes in. It's going to be blocked out by a protected barrier, so no value there for JK Law. Gustav been hacked up just naturally as Zappis is looking to come in here with the EMP. There's a Graviton Surge coming out. He's on the back line as expected, wants to dance in the middle of them, but the Transcendence is already out. Wants to use it after the Transcend, times it perfectly, gets 6 members, but they're going to be locked up here and then burnt away by Team Gigantti. That's exactly what needs to happen, but they should have been able to do it a lot faster.
It was a wonderful shatter from Milky Man as well, completely capitalizing on that EMP. And again, it's what Team Gigantti seem to be doing very well so far, is stabilizing in fights that look pretty dire towards the beginning. And Zappis, although it looks like he holds on to that EMP for a long, long time, it doesn't really matter, because as long as he gets in there, gets the EMP off as the Transcendence ends, it becomes easy pickings for Team Gigantti.
Now they're just going to take him to the fight outside the spawn room, try and regain control of this payload as it emerges, and then fall back to this archway choke. Obviously, they can't win that war of attrition when the spawn proximity is so in favor of Gigantti.
And another reason why I can see Team Gigantti playing Sombra here is because there is so much high ground to take advantage of, especially on point B, where you can get into position to hack a Reinhardt from behind, be a real nuisance, and that just makes it even easier for Milky Man to hit big shatters. That's not the best of grabs there.
It's unfortunate, but he will use the opportunity to isolate Milky Man, but that isolation works 2 ways, and JK Law is picked off by David. Transcendence coming out, so Shoes Money Crew want to commit to this fight. They're going to actually use Slur's Transcendence to block the sound barrier inside the broom, but it doesn't matter. It was enough to get to enough members of Gigantti, and the kill still came through. 3 minutes 20 on the clock, and Team Gigantti keep this payload moving.
Obling, though, with that pick onto Zappis very early on, might have secured them at least a third fight here on point B, because during that time while Zappis was down, he wasn't getting towards his EMP. Now he's only 64%. I'm pretty sure if he survived in that fight, he would have an EMP by now and secured them a lot of ult charge coming to point C, but more importantly, point B very easily.
And he's going to hold this aggressive position. 3 minutes on the clock as Shoes Money Crew going for the recontest. Now they have 4 ultimates in the bag. Team Gigantti only have the Graviton Surge to their name, but that all-important EMP is about to come online for Zappis, so hopefully he can get a combo off and basically guarantee a fight. Grab goes in early, hacked up Molfing, no chance of that being eaten. There's the EMP after the sound barrier comes out. Only hits a few members, but will still deny the shielding and make that ultimate redundant as Davin then makes the rest of Shoes Money Crew redundant with his high charge.
But they were forced out to use the EMP there. Now they can't EMP Shatter coming to the next point. Yes. And Shoes Money Crew, really, they only used the rally and the sound barrier, which was going to get negated by the EMP anyway. So really, it's a nice trade for Shoes Money Crew here. Obviously, they don't get that third fight through because they don't engage quick enough, but it has secured them a little extra time on point B. Point C, sorry. The major thing for me, though, Tridd, at the moment, is that every time that EMP goes down, it's a one-fight Team Gigantti. As long as they can keep grinding out like this, it should be okay. Self-destruct
will find too, so they're going to have to grind out a little bit slower as Milky Man will be locked up, and this is going to be a full reset here for Shoes Money Crew. 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock for Team Gigantti. They just need to do this in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and they guarantee a minimum draw on King's Row.
Yeah, EMP charge rate has been a little bit slow so far. We see members like RCK in the Overwatch League, and one thing that makes him so spectacular is because he gets those EMPs up all the time. And not only that, he's getting some great base hacks through. We need to see more of that from Zappis, but honestly, he's been playing pretty damn well so far.
And there's a hack coming in. They're going to take Gustav off the wall ride and stop him from contesting Milky Man. We're going to get that shadow down. We'll find him on the back line. He's too busy with JK Lowell. Molfi going to tank up a lot of the damage. Transcendence has to come out early with the Graviton Surge, but don't worry. Zappis is there to match, or Zappe is there to match Mouse's, but now Zappis has his own EMP online. There's a charge on the back line to try and isolate. No kills as of yet. There's the EMP. We'll get stunned up afterwards, and this is going to be a nice reaction and retaliation from Shoes Money Crew to be able to get those ults out to shut down the EMP.
And that's the first fight where the EMP has not succeeded anymore, so maybe you're thinking to yourself, do I switch over to the D.Va now? Will that be more useful to my team? But I think Zappis, it looks like he will make that switch right now, knowing that Mouse is coming up on another grab. He needs a bit of that pressure. So far, Mouse is just free to grab wherever, and in these tight corridors of point C in the Foundry, it's very easy to get some damn good grabs off if you are not under pressure ever.
So they only got 1 minute and 5 seconds to get this done. The Graviton Surge will be looking to progress this even faster. The charge comes out after the grab ends, but Zappis will still find Mouse and get a D-Mech onto Molfig, and it's Gustav only to get a kill on Facility with that sound wave to make it happen. Now they're just going to swing through. 50 seconds. This is the time they want to land. Very close to Milky Man. Nearly went off the map there, but this contestation coming in from Gustav is great. It's denying them. They have 45 seconds to get it to the white box. If they don't, then they don't guarantee it. They're going to have to do it in overtime, and they'll give some time back to Shoes Money Crew.
Grab bomb advantage for Shoes Money Crew as well, so they can close out this fight. As long as they can make it a long one with the Transcendence on board, as well as this potentially is last fight here, Tridd.
They have time to do it. Just one good clearance here. Shadow from Milky Man. Zappis with the bomb would be enough. You're looking for Shoes Money Crew to do something similar. Nice shadow for the payload. Find multiple members. Transcendence being used as expected, but Zappis did not get it online soon enough. They're going to send out the self-destruct to buy some more time as Transcendence comes in from Zappe to guarantee this fight, but they need a conclusive win here. Otherwise, the spawn advantage from Shoes Money Crew will keep the contestation going. 7 seconds remaining. They're not going to clear it out in time. This is going to be forced into another attempt, even if they complete the map here.
That's it. Mouse on the sidelines. Doesn't take as much damage as they like, but the payload is still moving its way in. JKL uses the shatter, but it's not in time right there. I think the major thing to look at is Slur on Shoes Money Crew. Despite them losing, his usage of this Transcendence, he's just got perfect ult tracking on when Davin has grab and when he's allowed to use Transcendence to stop those big ultimates like Earthshadow from taking down his team. And even more so, it means you have to be in good position or have the insane reactions to transcend as has the animation that Earth Shadow is going down. So I think Slur has been playing wonderfully throughout the weeks, but Team Gigantti, they're the ones in the driver's seat right now. But Shoes Money Crew, they were given that extra minute because Gigantti failed to complete with 1 minute and above.
Only by 7 seconds, which is the big kicker.
Yeah, it's not fun. So Shoes Money Crew, they do buy out that extra time, and that comes from that Transcendence. So Team Gigantti, just like say, it's a kicker, they'll be kicking themselves in the leg as well as for that one, but now they're making their way out, and it looks like they are going to be holding with the D.Va. They're opting not to go onto that Sombra this time around. Cursed map.
Well, they didn't run Sombra on the defense last time, so I don't think that's part of their game plan to run it. So I expect they'll still attempt to do it, because especially if they get a solid first hold here, that EMP and the success rate they've had with EMP fights would mean that if they could just win one fight, especially if they're good defense here, they'll be able to just take the map in that action. It doesn't matter if they fall behind slightly on that first engagement.
And crucially, it took them 2 fights last time to take the point. And with 1 minute 53, that's what you're guaranteed, 2 fights. But it has to be perfect right there. Shoes Money Crew cannot give them any pressure, and Team Gigantti cannot make any errors. But first, they have to hold this point.
You're going to go for that early clash as expected. Gigantti on the point. Davin looking to build up charge using Milky Man as his host for that symbiotic charge coming out from him. And this Shoes Money Crew walked onto the point, taking it away from Gigantti, building a little bit of percentage and progress towards the objective, but they have to back off now. Cooldowns are down, and Team Gigantti are out of sync with them, and they're going to be able to get theirs online and pressure them back a little bit further. Hotel being contested by both of the Zaryas, and the Reinhardt's just going to stay there, facing each other in the main. Lilbo's on that back wall, and Gustav trying to find some displacement by playing in. He's going to knock 2 members out of the way, and that's going to be the go sign for Shoes Money Crew as they try and capitalize on it, but they weren't able to. JK Lol going down low, but he gets his shield up just in time to block out the damage. Molf is now trying to isolate and destroy, making his own tactics into play here. They're building towards these first dots. Mouse gets his one online. But thankfully, Zappe has that Transcendence off the point, keeps him up. JK Lol, first victim of the fight. Now, the Gigantti need to use this momentum to go forward. Lilbo is going to go down. No, he's not. Sorry, Molfi is going to be the one who takes that grab, eats off of the side of Team Gigantti, but they still have the momentum here. It's going to be quickly found by another Shatter to keep the fight going. Sound barrier obviously does come out then from Gustav to keep him in themselves. There's the self-destruct over the top. Going to be blocked out nicely. D-Mech will come in from Davin. Of course, Milky Man on the point to try and fight Gustav, who has that protected barrier. Will go down. We need to kill him, get him off the point. He's the sticky member. Overtime ticks down. That's that full hold Gigantti were looking for. I expect we're going to see the Sombra.
We're probably going to see the Sombra here. 2 fights, has to be perfect, have to get the EMP online, cannot be scouted out early. Really nice heat from Morphic towards the end. That almost secured them the point, in fact. Luckily, Team Gigantti have 2 amazing support players in the form of Zappe and Lilbo, who are very ready to drop down the support and these ultimates when they are needed in these fights. But Shoes Money Crew, they can absolutely defend here. They have to make sure that they clip the wings of Zappis if he is on this Sombra early on. Make sure that charge isn't super high as they come into it. But Mouse, he was leading by a good 30% in ultimate charge towards the beginning of that fight. And that just leads me to believe at the moment, Mouse is taking the lead.
Yeah, he was able to get that grab out significantly sooner than what Davin could match. And he had a lot of positional advantage considering that Gigantti worked the defenders when it came out to this attempt. But they have nearly doubled the time bank. So Gigantti might be able to pull this one off. I'd like to see them stick on this DPS heavy composition. Obviously, they're not all going to go with that 5 DPS. I imagine we'll see something come in here, but Zappis goes over to the Sombra as expected. It could mean that the rest of Gigantti might go back onto the tanks.
Yeah, it could be scouting as well, as Hanzo and Widowmaker both big scouting potentiality. So you might probably see the Ash, Mercy, and the Pharah and everyone else switch off in the meantime. But Shoes Money Crew, they're going to have a tough time dealing with this crossfire coming out from Team Gigantti. Looks like Milky Man will be one to switch, and everyone else sticks on. Zappe on the Hanzo, so massive amounts of line of sight that can be utilized here for Team Gigantti. Shoes Money Crew, they got to stay safe, and they got to stay inside.
It's going to be unfortunate because they also have to contest the point. Malfic already been hacked up. Facility looking to get more damage on the JK Lol. Will get an armor pack to keep him alive. No massive burst healing, and you would expect the Moira to come out to try and deal with this composition, but Shoes Money Crew didn't have the information. They lacked it, and it was critical. By God, it was. And here's Facility up in the sky. Well, Zapp has already found Gustav. They should be able to open this one up, just trying to break the shield down from JK Lol. Headshot
nice
weaved in after he dropped the shield, figured he was safe, but there's a cheeky little Mouse. hidden in that crevice, will get the kill on Davin. And to Zappis, he's taken on 2 by himself. Obling needs to be careful, but Malt turn his back around. It started shaky for Team Gigantti, but Shoes Money Crew, they've been able to flip this one back into their control.
That's it. It's done, though. Shoes Money Crew, they've got this Transcendence online. There is no way that you rip through this composition if you're playing this 4 DPS comp right now. Zappis is nowhere near the EMP, and as long as Shoes Money Crew play exactly like they did before, play those angles, play safe, use that shield to advantage, this is pretty much done for Team Gigantti, barring some kind of miracle.
Never say never, Blank. Facility's got that barrage. He's trying to find Slur, force it early.
There's the miracle.
Found him. So that Transcendence completely removed from the fight. There's the self-destruct we'll deal with Milky Man. Malphig's found 2 already. That might be the saving grace. Barrage comes out from Facility to take out Miles. Malphig dealing with Davin. These DPS are being dismantled by tanks and supports. There's not much they can do about it with 15 seconds remaining. This is looking very dire for Team Gigantti because Slur is going to make it back with that Transcendence.
They didn't have to use the Transcendence either. This is just going to give them that tool that they need to stay on point. Facility has to hit some mad shots as he makes it onto the point. Doesn't quite find it, and now Malphig can run free.
They're going to get the EMP out. They have to use it nice and early, but the Transcendence came out. JK Lol going to be hacked up. Slur obviously using that Transcendence early is going to mean that there was damage to be able to come up, but they missed that window of opportunity. Now it's Lilbo with the Valkyrie to try and boost the healing of his team. There's the Graviton Surge to pull him onto the point. As well. There's not much they can do about that as Milky Man and Facility are taken away. Try to go for the res, but JK Lol Fire Strike is flaming true. Zappis will be taken out. That's going to be the draw on King's Row, and we're going to a 1-0 scoreline at the half.
It's the cursed map. I'm unsure why you'd run this 4 DPS combo. I think their 3-3 is extremely solid. I potentially think you win out there versus Shoes Money Crew. And I understand you want to take those angles, but as soon as you see that Shoes Money Crew have most definitely prepared for this, where they're running into the corner, having Malphig deal with the Sombra on the side, which that's his job to do. Like, they play it so well, deny so much charge to Zappis. And that EMP at the end, it only hit JK Lol. That was the only target.
And a lot of it was still getting that residual healing from the Transcendence, and I feel as though it might have been maybe panicked, maybe forced out as well by potentially knowing that you'd have to translocate back to safety because he was under pressure from someone like potentially Malphig. That might have been the instance that forced what we would consider a non-optimal or a suboptimal EMP to come out on the side of Gigantti in such a crucial time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're completely right there, Tridd. I think his hand was forced. Like, he had to press that Q button. Like, it was now or never in that situation. It's really sad that Vasily gets hit by that Graviton as well, as I think he was just dropping down. Though, I will give them credit, Gigantti, because I really liked the way that composition worked, because you put Facility on point as the foreign, he drops down now and again, he contests the point, starts taking it up, and who on that team is going to deal with them other than Malphig? Malphig's already preoccupied with the Sombra, so in theory it should work, but Shoes Money Crew had such an amazing defense there to actually withstand it, despite losing their Zen with the Transcendence, which was technically their win condition.
Yeah, it was odd that we weren't able to see the greatest capitalization from that, and we already pointed out, as soon as Slur got back there with the Transcendence, when they were running low on the ultimates, there was not much that could be done
ultis, yeah.
for Team Gigantti. So it will work out as a draw, so a 1-0 scoreline. This is still an entirely winnable series for Shoes Money Crew, and obviously still for Team Gigantti as well. We got 2 more regular maps to play, and if we get another draw on our next map, on our Assault type, we could also still see a 5th map tiebreaker despite having a draw on King's Row.
Though, to be fair, Gigantti, King's Row does seem to be their hiccup map, and usually after this they come back in a really strong way. So hopefully we can see that from them, but Shoes Money Crew really impressing me, like, to come out swinging like this into a team like Gigantti, the winners of last season. Like, it's incredible to see. And taking them on King's Row, which is the free map, and when Gigantti was touted as this free team, it's pretty damn good. I'm very impressed.
And it's also bizarre to see this as well because, well, it's not really bizarre, but Shoes Money Crew has been putting in very good performances. Yeah, we pointed out at the beginning of the cast that they lost against teams we expect them to lose against. They've won against teams we expect them to win against. One thing that's always stuck through them is they've never gone down without a fight.
Exactly. And now it's time for them to prove themselves. And so far, you know what they are. They are absolutely doing it. I think University is the only map where it looked really one-sided. The rest of it has been fairly scrappy, to say the least.
Well, more scraps are abound. We're going to go do a quick break. When we come back, we're going to bring you map number 3.